Hi, this is Trisha at Yoga Wellness Money. Thanks so much for joining me today. The topic is how to land a great job. The number one thing I think to landing a great job is what every woman asks whenever anything comes up of significance. What am I going to wear? Even my girlfriend who got made a partner at a very large law firm in Southern California, the first thing she did was call another female partner and say, what should I wear? And they're really, after submitting your resume and getting chosen, because trust me, if you're chosen for an interview, you have done well, because all employers get usually a lot of applications for things, and if you get to interview, that means that they see that your skills, qualifications, and experience match what they're looking for. And what they really want to know during the interview is, are you a good fit? And fit has to do with your appearance, your personality, your demeanor, your energy. And so that's what you want to spend most of your time focused on when you go to interview for your job. Now, there's only two colors I recommend wearing at your job interview. The first one is gray and the second one is navy blue. Not necessarily in that order, but those from a psychological standpoint, and this is backed by research, are the best colors for interviewing. Even though you're in a gray suit or a navy suit, which is kind of, neutral, bland, it's okay to wear something really bright underneath. Like today, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm in like a bright pink. And you can wear an emerald green or something that really catches the eye and says, hey, I have a little bit of a personality. However, your personality and your individuality is not what they're looking for. They're kind of looking for their company reflected off of you. So in some sense, you want to act like you're kind of a blank slate, quite frankly. So don't go in there with a lot of personality, with colored pink in your hair, unless that's the kind of job you're looking for. However, even if you're in a more casual job, I recommend dressing up. For example, when I was in college, my mother bought me a suit that was simple, and I wore the same suit through all 4 years whenever I was applying for a new internship or job, but it was a basic pencil skirt in black and a cream top with gold buttons. It was a two-tone suit. If it sounds circa 1990s, it was. It's still kind of cute. It had shoulder pads. But that is not the point. The point is, even when you're just in college and you're just applying to be a receptionist, a bad one. And the reason I was a bad receptionist is, can't write down numbers worth beans, it turns out. I could hear it and I could say it back and it was exactly right. But what I wrote down was transposed, at least 2 numbers. So I got yelled at a lot at KBYU TV. Thanks, Babette Davidson. I think she's now the GM over at PBS. But back then, she was just Cruella DeVille coming to yell at me one more time that the number's wrong and am I reading them back? And none of the guys seemed to care because I don't think they return their calls, quite frankly. But I digress. The point is, regardless of what job you're applying for, you want to look really sharp. Simple, but sharp. Same with your shoes. Don't wear anything with a rubber sole. I will come there personally and strangle you if you show up to work in Mary Jane's or tennis shoes, sneakers, kicks. You want to find something with a low heel, like a kitten heel, or even a higher heel that is in a neutral color or black. Now, when it comes to accessories, you want to keep that relatively simple as well. I recommend, if you wear multiple earrings in your ear, take them all out except for one and make sure it's a stud. Don't wear dangly earrings to interviews. Also, wear a watch. A watch says, I'm responsible. A watch says, I can see what time it is without looking at my iPhone. A watch kind of conveys responsibility. Speaking of your iPhone, don't take it into your interview. Just leave it in the car. Leave your keys and your iPhone in the car. If you have to take your actual car key off the chain and put it in your pocket, do that, but you don't want a lot of bulk in your pockets, and you also don't want to have something rattling in your hand. And ladies, you are never walking into an interview with your purse. You do not take a purse into the interview. Don't do it. There's no purse that fits in an interview. What I do recommend getting is one of those leather folders. You just open them up, and there's like a legal pad on one side and a pen in the center. You can take that to an interview, or a smaller version where you can just open it up, take some notes, have a pen, because you really want to look like you're serious about the job. You want to write down the names of people, especially if you're in an interview with multiple people. You'll just want to jot down their names as you hear them. So hopefully you can refer back to them throughout the interview. And speaking of group interviews, if you happen to find yourself in one, make sure, even though one person asks you the question, you talk to everybody in the room, and you look around and you make eye contact with each person in the room. Even if that person never speaks, seems younger than everybody else, make sure you make lots of eye contact with every single person, because a lot of times that quiet person is the person that's really going to decide. So you never know who the power player is in the room, so you have to treat them all equally. When it comes to the content of the interview, make sure you're armed with stories. And when I say stories, I mean work stories. Even when to the question, tell me about yourself, your answer is going to revolve around your work history and things that you've done and things that you've accomplished, or goals that you have that are in line with things that they are looking for. And another way to have great stories is to think about times when you had conflict, when things seemed like they weren't going to go well, when you walked into a mess that you didn't create but you had to clean up. Tell those kind of stories. Talk about what you did to turn it around, or to make it meet the deadline, or to resolve a conflict with another person. Those stories are great. Employers love them. They eat them up. The next best story, if not the best story to tell, is revenue. Anything that has to do with their bottom line. How you increased revenue, how you won a sales contest, how you minimized costs, how you save the company money. Anything that involves money, remember, they're very interested in that as well. They don't care that you water ski. They don't care that you have 3 kids. Speaking of which, if you have kids, if you're married, if you're single, if you're straight, if you're gay, whatever it is, do not share that with your interviewer, ever. Because first of all, it's illegal for them to ask, but they're not dumb. They won't come right out and ask you. What they'll do is they'll say, oh, this is my wife Sheila and our 4 boys. And they'll just pause, and they'll wait for you to say, I have 4 girls, and I've got an ex-wife or an ex-husband, or my husband just dumped me for another woman. Don't tell anything about your personal life. They don't care. They're only asking to use it against you. And also, even on something as simple as what time you can interview, don't say things like, I have to interview by 2:30 because I have to pick my kids up by 4. Don't say that in the pre-interview either. That's also something, and I know this for a fact, there's a certified financial planner and a CPA that did not hire a woman because she knows from the fact that she had to change her interview time and said it was because she had to pick up her kids, that she had kids, and she was afraid to hire this woman because she thought, oh, she has kids, it's going to interfere with her ability to be here for me in the office. So don't ever bring up your family. They don't care. If they act like they care, they're just trying to get information about what your commitment level is. As far as they know, you are 1,000% committed to help them achieve their goals and objectives and to win more contracts, revenue, whatever it is for the company. Get more hits, likes, whatever it is you're doing for them. They want to know that you're a company girl there to serve them. And that's all you want to convey in your interview. Now, when it comes to personal things, one thing you can bond on is if you see a picture of the boss I don't know, has pottery all around his or her office. You can say, oh my gosh, I love pottery. I have a kiln at home. And you can bond on something, you know, hobby-wise that doesn't involve your background or your family situation, but it's just something neutral that you can build a bond with that potential employer with. Because like I said, sometimes it's not about whether you can do the job, it's about whether they want to have lunch with you. One of the last tips I can give is to make sure you're really listening. And the way you're going to convey that you're not only listening, but really interested in the position and getting the job is you are not going to lean back in that chair. Oh, look, I'm too far back. It's too far back for me to lean against it. You're not going to lean back in your chair, but you are going to sit up in that chair. You're going to sit almost on the edge of your chair, and you're going to lean in, and you're going to lock in on them. Just like when you met them in the lobby to go back to their office, you stood up, you stood straight, you put your arm out, you shook their hand with a firm grip, not a tight grip, not a sissy grip, but a firm handshake that says, you know, that you're confident, that you're eager to meet them, you're going to make great eye contact, and you're going to smile, showing your teeth. Because showing your teeth shows trustworthiness. So make sure that they can see your teeth. Just like in France, if you're eating dinner, you never put your hands under the table because people think, historically speaking, that you might have a pistol under there. In France, you always keep your hands on the table to show that you're not hiding anything and that you can be trusted. Well, here in the US, a smile conveys trust, and a smile showing teeth conveys trust. And a last question that you might want to ask, you know, that tricky thing like, do you have any questions for us? Well, obviously you're not going to be like, so what's your time off policy? Or what are your benefits? If you get the job offer, they will be sure to tell you all of those things. The thing you could ask is, what type of personality are you looking for in this position? Because actually, that will tell you a lot about what they're looking for and what their priorities are. And it'll give you an opportunity to say, hey, you know, and give an example of how you have demonstrated one or two of those personality traits. Again, your interview is about a story. You want to bring that resume to life, right? It's just facts on a piece of paper. It has no dimension. You know, if you're like, it's like a boyfriend, right? He can check off all the boxes, but if there's no chemistry, the deal's done. It's the same way when you're hiring. You know, the boxes all checked, but they want to see you, talk to you, sense your energy before they know if you're going to fit with them, they're going to want to work with you, and it's going to be a good relationship moving forward. Those are probably my best tips. Stand up straight and tall. Here's some examples of how not to stand. And here's an example of how to stand. See the difference? Really, the way we present ourselves can make all the difference in whether we get the thing that we want or we don't. Especially after you've been in the game a while, it has very little to do with what you know and more to do with who you are. And so make sure that your packaging and the things you convey are really expressing all the good things about you. I wish you luck. If you do have an interview coming up, knock 'em dead. I have faith in you, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I'd love it if you smash the like button, and I appreciate your time, and I know there's a lot of places you could be, and I'm glad you're here with me. All right, take care, and we'll talk soon.